Well, welcome to our video about saving for print and web. We've talked a little bit about saving for print and web using the original Sphere document, and now that I've got this combo made and kind of tweaked, like we did in the combining images video, I think we're ready to save this one for web as well. So here's my PSD. It's got layers and it's in RGB format. I want you to save this one intact for me and put that in the folder. So first of all, let's save on there. And now I think I'll start saving this for print. Well, what do we need to do when this goes to print? It's going to be in color, so it'll quite likely need to be CMYK format in most cases. And for print, we've got that nasty thing called dot gain. No matter how fine a paper you use, no matter how good quality of ink you use, there will be a little bit of dot gain. And there are some formulas available to account for that. What you'll want to do, rather than just automatically do this every time that you get ready to print something, you'll want to have a good conversation with your print shop that you're using and the pre-press guys in there. They may have some things that they want you to do, or they may just say, no, just send it to us, we're all set for that, which would be nice, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they may need you to go into your Photoshop file and account for dot gain. They may need you to make sure that the right color profile is attached to it. Now we've got a class called Digital Color Theory where we go into the color profile business extensively, but for now we'll use one or two different color profiles, especially for print, and we'll use sRGB, especially for web. So let's go about getting this ready for print. And let's see, we can do a save as here. Combo 3 print B. I think that just to designate what these all are, and we're going to save it save it as a TIFF rather, in our TIFF format. And including layers will increase the file size probably at this time. If you've got your layered PSD saved and you know this is how you want it to go in print, you can flatten the image. Discard hidden layers. I'm also going to change at this time, when I'm getting ready to import this into InDesign or wherever I'm laying out my page, I'm also going to change the image mode to CMYK, because that's the four-color process. Now this speaks to that color profile we want to attach. When we're working in RGB and thinking about going to print, we quite often use Adobe 1998 RGB color profile. When we're switching over to CMYK, they're talking about this US web-coded SWAP version 2. SWAP is an acronym the print industry uses for some standards that were established quite a while ago and have been pretty stable for a while. And they say this may or may not be what you'd intend, so you can go to Edit, Convert to Profile. Or we're actually going to go to Edit and assign the profile to this rather than, yeah, and it's assigned a working profile, US web-coded SWAP version 2, and that's fine. We can assign it that actively here. And you'll notice down here in the file information where it says document profile, it now says US web-coded SWAP version 2. Web in this case not meaning World Wide Web or Internet, meaning this web means a web press, like you would print a newspaper on. Yet another term that could be a little bit misleading, but this is for print. Our big hint is SWAP. That's that acronym that the print industry uses. So we've got our color profile assigned. We've got it changed to CMYK. It is 5 by 7 at 300 pixels per inch. Let's see, that's our file size down there, 12 megabytes. Document dimensions. There we go. 5 by 7, 300 pixels per inch. That's yet another place we can check that. What else do we need? Levels. That's what we were talking about. Let's say that this one is for a magazine. We did the black and white one as if it were for a newspaper. Let's do an adjustment layer for levels. And I don't think we need to adjust our input levels, and change sort of the exposure. That's not what we want to do here. We want to adjust the output levels. We're going to say, hey, Photoshop, that solid black in here, don't print that any more than, let's see, what do we need for magazines? 90%, which according to that chart in your Wilmore book on page 253, 90% would be at about the 26 level of gray. We've got percentages divided out by 100, and we've got levels of gray divided out by 256, which can be a little tricky to work with, but just think of both of these as a football field, and we haven't even done quite a touchback. It's not even to the 20-yard line here, it's just to the 10. And then for magazines, we need to get highlights down to 3%. We're saying, hey, Photoshop, anything that's 3% or lighter, just print that at 3%. And so we get some dots so we don't have people's shiny foreheads. And 3% is 248. There we go, and I'll enter that in by the numbers here, 248. So we won't have shiny foreheads going to paper, and so we won't have these dark shadows going to just a solid mass of black ink. There will always be dot in there. And this output level business, this is a conversation that you'll want to have with your print shop and with the pre-press guys, and find out, what would be helpful for you to do. If you're doing ads for a magazine, they may have some specifications like that written in the specs that they give you to prepare the ad with. But this is just about prepared for print. We've done our save as, we've flattened, we've got the levels. I'm going to leave the levels as a separate layer in case anyone else needs to adjust this along the way. And now I'll hit save. And that should save it for me. So that one's ready for print. Now, rather than jump around between CMYK, RGB, different formats, I'm going to go back now to that other document, that fountain.psd. There we go. There's my original layered document, and I'm going to save as again. And combo _3_ web B. That tells me which document this is going to be. I'm going to save that as a JPEG. And then I'm going to go up here to Save for Web and Devices. And we'll optimize that oh, you know what? I left out a step. What are all these layers doing here? We definitely don't need those on the web. And on the web, we don't have dot gain, so I won't need to worry about doing that levels adjustment either. So I'll flatten this image. Oh, wait a second now. I'm in my fountain image. Where is the image that I saved? Let's open that up. These are good things to catch. Combo 3 Web JPEG. There we go. Well, there we go. And by virtue of saving it as a JPEG, I did flatten it. So that's fantastic. That was a very good catch because I want to keep this fountain PSD intact with layers, because inevitably the client's going to come back next week and want some kind of change to it, because that's how these things work. So here's the one I've saved for web, combo 3 web.b.jpg. It's got my image, and I'm just going to do a save for web and devices. I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Oh, now there's something else that I forgot from the assignment. let's look at image size. The fact that that image came in so huge in that dialog box was a slap in the face kind of reminder. I didn't call for a 1500 pixel wide image for this web piece. I wanted a 400 pixel wide image. 400 pixels wide. Now if this were in print, it would be that big, but really it's on the web. I'm just looking at pixels. Although, if you want, we could do this in 2 steps. Let's go down to 72 pixels per inch, and that would mean this many inches wide. But I'm not resampling here, so I haven't changed the pixel dimensions, but we've put it back into 72 ppi language. Now we could go into image size and now resample it, because we are going to eliminate some pixels here. We're going to take it from 1500 pixels wide down to 400, and that would give us at 72 pixels per inch a 5.5 inch width. But the assignment specifies 400 wide, which is a pretty beefy little image for the web, but you know, would fit on a page. Let's see if we can get actual pixels here. There we go. Actual pixels. So this is roughly the size it would be on your screen on that web page that we're preparing it for. Now, finally, I can go under File, get Save for Web and Devices, and we'll get our dialog box. There we go. Now that's kind of what I was expecting before. It's a JPEG. It's going to optimize it down to 50K. And what was it before? What was this JPEG so far? It was 656K, just to save it out as a regular old JPEG. Just from the Save As dialog box, it's 656K. If we go to Save for Web and Devices, it's going to save it down to 50K. And that's at a certain level of quality, at a pretty good level of quality. 50K. It's going to take 10 seconds to load for someone out there that's got a 56.6K internet connection, which means for anyone with broadband it's going to load in just a second or two. Now, how did Photoshop get this file size savings for us? That's, pardon me, where the optimization thing comes in. It is kind of consolidating these colors, if you will, consolidating this color information and optimizing it for viewing on the web. So at this point, now we can even look at 2-up and 4-up and say, gee, if we take it down to 16K at a lesser quality, is it going to hurt anything? But I kind of like this level of quality. I think our colors are true, and our edges are nice and true that way. So I think this is okay, and we're getting a huge savings down from 656 down to 50 anyhow. So I'm going to say Save, and it's going to say, where do you want that? I'm going to say in this folder, and just right over top of the other one. And it's saying, do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. And okay. So that is our new image. And we've saved for web. It's in RGB. It's been optimized as a flattened JPEG. It's been, before we did all that, of course, we brought it down to our 400 pixel wide width that was specified in the assignment. We've got it saved for print using our levels dialog box to compensate for dot gain. We've flattened it. We've saved it as a CMYK. We've attached our profile. And, oh, and I didn't make sure that this is sRGB profile on the one that we saved for web. Let's see, document profile, and it is sRGB by virtue of being optimized in Save for Web and Devices. It's sRGB, stands for Standard RGB. Photographers have an expletive name for that because it is a very abbreviated color space, but it's great for the web. So here's our one for print with levels adjusted. It's got our US swap profile assigned to it. And we've got our good old layered basic image for next week when the client comes back and says, hey, change it all to green, we don't like blue. And that combined with those 3 images for print, web, and layered images that we've got for the other one, and we're good to go. Thanks.